when we were building this program, our next speaker, Mr. Doug Wilson, who's on the board of directors of the Howard Gilman Foundation, had a connection to several of the center members, but I couldn't introduce him as an advisory member or a board member. But at the urging of my board colleagues, I today issued an invitation to Doug to join the board, and I'll be taking to the board in tomorrow's meeting the nomination that he become a member of the board of the U.S. Center. So our newest member, you've got it previewed here tonight, Mr. Doug Wilson.
Thanks, David. This past weekend, 70 men and women from throughout the United States met at our Howard Gilman Foundation's White Oak conference facilities in northern Florida. We had people from all over the country. They included thought leaders from the government, the military, business, intelligence sectors, Congress, the arts, media, technology, state government, NGOs, and the private sector, citizen diplomats. All of these people are stakeholders in what we have come to call public diplomacy. And the goal of our weekend was to get consensus on a set of recommendations to guide the new administration and the new Congress as they seek to revitalize and adapt public diplomacy as a vital foreign policy tool once again for this country. Why? Because public diplomacy in many ways is now broken. We were presented with many, many recommendations. We considered many, and we winnowed them down to 8. And 8 will be presented to the National Security Council, the State Department, the Pentagon, and Congress, and widely disseminated throughout the country. And of the 8, none was more heartily endorsed than this call to action that we are issuing tonight. This initiative for global citizen diplomacy that we're launching here today. So David and Ann and Tom and Ann and everyone who has been part of this, I'm really pleased and proud to be part of this initiative, not just as a member of the Howard Gilman Board, but as somebody who has spent his life in public diplomacy and in business and politics. And I have seen as a citizen the very tangible benefits of the programs that this initiative and all of you represent and that we're highlighting today. To Pat Madden, who is someplace in this audience, I have seen the benefits personally of the Sister Cities program, the nationwide program that you run that connects American communities with counterparts from throughout the world. 20 years ago, when I directed the Phoenix Sister Cities Commission, we started a program with the Chinese city of Chengdu. And 20 years later, I was so happy to read in the Arizona papers about the thousands of Phoenix men and women who both went and helped financially to help that city dig out from the rubble of the earthquake that affected them last year. I served overseas early in my career in London and met a young British backbencher named Chris Patten, whom you know, Congressman, who later became the chairman of the British Conservative Party and the foreign minister of the European Union, and now is Chancellor of Oxford. And I was able to send him on his very first trip to the United States. And even now, when I see and talk to him, he continues to rave about the people he met in Illinois and California on the first trip he ever made. And last year, I attended my 40th high school reunion. And to it came the AFS student from Thailand, Hattie Suryakampol. And I asked her if she'd ever had a chance to meet Thailand's former foreign minister, who is now the Secretary General of ASEAN, Surin Pitsuwan. And she told me something that until then I had never known about him. She said not only did she know him, but she had the pleasure of hosting the one and only party that he allowed to take place in Bangkok when he was named Secretary General of ASEAN. And that was of all of the Thai AFS students, of which he was one, where he first got an opportunity to travel internationally and learn what it was like to live in another country. So to this letter that you and all of us are issuing today to President Obama on the call to action, I would add only this as a co-signer of the call to action and as a strong supporter of this initiative. Mr. President, long may your magic cause the world to again look at the United States as a beacon of freedom, opportunity, and change. But if or when that individual magic ever stops, the collective daily efforts of millions of Americans engaging with foreign counterparts to build a business, dig a well, house a student, feed a child, enjoy music together, extend a hand in friendship, and try to build a better world must be there to build upon. Mr. President, you have said that we must be the change that we want. And if you challenge us to be that change through this call to action on international citizen engagement, you will be surprised how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of us will be ready to respond.